it's Channon Rose, and today I'm going to be telling you a porn star horror story, and this one's pretty crazy. So this story is actually about one of my friends that did porn. It's interesting because this did not happen on a porn set. This actually happened off set. I was really good friends with this girl. I'm not going to say her name for obvious reasons. She was very popular in porn and gorgeous, like drop dead gorgeous. And she was really cool, you guys, like a really cool chick. But when she started drinking, she was like a totally different person. You did not want to be around this girl. But majority of the time, she could like control her liquor. Sometimes when she was drinking, I think that she was probably mixing drugs in with her alcohol because she wasn't just acting drunk. There was like a whole level of weirdness and crazy that would happen. I'm about to tell you one of those stories. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, ever since I was younger, I would go camping every year with my family. We would go for 4th of July. Well, this 4th of July had come around and I had invited this girl and her husband to come on my family camping trip, thinking like, you know, she's not gonna get drunk and weird and do drugs like on a family camping trip because that's just fucking weird. But just remember, she's very cool, like super cool, down to earth, like fun chick when she's sober. That's who I thought I was gonna be hanging out with on this camping trip. Well, everything was fine the first 2 days, and then the 3rd day happened, and during the day, she got like day drunk. For those of you guys that like aren't familiar with like drug users, if you don't do drugs, the other person that you're hanging out with is not going to tell you that they're doing drugs, and they like kind of keep it a secret from you, at least in my experience. During the day, we're all hanging out, and all the campsites, like they're on this lake, and there's like campsites that are like right on the lake front, and then there's campsites that like are right behind it, and so on. So our campsite was not right on the lake, it was actually like the campsites right behind the ones that were on the lake. But all the people basically set up all their stuff like lakefront, and you know, they have their boats out and you hang out and lay out and you know, whatever, have a good time. It was during the day, we were all like on the lakefront, and I had noticed that this girl had started drinking, and I got a little nervous, to be honest, because I was like, oh god, like please don't get drunk, you know, because I know how she gets when she starts drinking. I'm thinking, no, I don't think she's gonna get drunk, not with my whole family here, because it was legitimately like a family trip. It was like my family, her and her husband, and then me and my boyfriend at the time. So she starts drinking, and I just noticed throughout the hours she is just getting drunker and drunker, and I am like, oh, fuck me, dude, fuck me. That's all I could think to myself. I'm like, fuck, what craziness is about to happen? Because some shit is about to go down. So I am laying out, just like, you know, enjoying the day. And I had like decided to like take a little nap because I was tired. So I fell asleep like on the lake, like in a lounge chair. All of a sudden I get woken up by my dad. And he's like, hey Shannon, I think you should go check on your friend. And I'm like, I instantly knew, oh fuck. So I turn around and I hear this like banging on a motorhome, and I turn around and I notice that it's her banging on some like random person's motorhome, like literally like banging the door. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Why is she trying to get into this like random person's motorhome? So I'm like, ugh. So I walk up to her and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I need to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not our motorhome. And she's like, don't lie to me. And I'm like, bitch, you're tripping. That's not our motorhome. Come on, I'll take you to the bathroom. So as she was banging like on the door and I was sleeping, the owners of that motorhome were like confronting her, being like, can we help you? Like whatever. And she kept like cussing at them and telling them to go fuck themselves because she thought that they were lying and pretending that that motorhome was theirs when it actually was theirs. So this is like the craziness I was dealing with. So I'm like apologizing to the motorhome owners. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like she's, you know, had a little bit too much to drink. And they're like, okay, you know, like this girl, by the way, is like, she's in her bikini. She's so pretty, like so pretty that like everybody is staring at her. Like if she wasn't being crazy, people would be staring at her anyways. You know what I mean? She's like one of those pretty girls that like, you know, anywhere you go, people are staring at her. So when she does this crazy shit, everybody in the campsite was like just staring at everything going on. So I was like, oh my god, I was like so embarrassed, you know? So you guys are probably thinking like, that's not so crazy, because it's not compared to what I'm about to tell you that happens later on. So please just keep watching, bear with me as we get into some good shit. So I finally get her to the bathroom, she goes to the bathroom, and I convince her to take a nap because I'm like, you know, you've had a little bit too much to drink, why don't you sleep it off? And she's like, okay. So she takes a nap, and I'm like, oh, thank God. So I get to like, you know, enjoy the rest of my day. Well, nighttime rolls around and she wakes up. She continues to start drinking again. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm just like, whatever. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. I can't control her. Like, you know, I've tried to tell her to not drink. But now at this point, we're all sitting by the campfire. She's been really quiet all night, which was good, you know? We're all like telling funny stories and joking around and having a good time. And all the while, she's still drinking. Then she gets up and starts to walk away, and everyone kind of just gets quiet and looks at her because they're like, oh God, what is she gonna do now? She goes into her tent, and she's in there for like 5 minutes. She comes back out. Everything's fine. Nothing. She's not doing anything weird. She sits back down by the campfire. I'm not even joking, you guys. She sits back down for the campfire for like 1.2 seconds. Then decides to get back up, and she starts walking past our motorhome. And I'm like, and now everybody's staring at her, and we're all just like sitting there kind of smiling because it's kind of funny, but we're like still kind of well, for me at least, I'm kind of nervous because I'm like, oh God, what is she gonna do now, you know? So we're all quiet, we're just looking at her, we're all watching her walk past our motorhome and into the people's campsite across from us. And you guys, the campsite across from us was like all dudes, like it was almost like a fraternity over there, and I can guarantee you these guys were like, oh hell yeah, we just scored, this hot ass chick is in her fucking bikini walking into our campsite, like what's up, you know? Like that's probably what these guys were thinking. And we hear them and they start like talking to her. It's like, whatever, I'm just gonna let her do her thing. And I tell her husband, I'm like, you're on her patrol tonight, I am like not watching her, that's your wife, handle this shit. And he's like, I'm just letting her do her own thing. Like, he didn't care. He's just like used to this shit by now, you know? And he's just like, fuck it, let her do whatever she wants. She's over there in that campsite for a while, and we're just like, whatever. We end up just like going back to what we were doing. And all of a sudden, this dude runs into our campsite and is like, hey, do you guys know this girl that's over here? And then everyone's looking at me. Even the husband's looking at me like, Shannon, like, you go. And I'm like, why? Why does everybody pick me to handle this? I'm like, and then I start arguing. I'm like, no, you go. That's your wife. And he's like, she doesn't listen to me. She'll listen to you. You go. And I'm like, fine. So I get up and I go over there and I'm like, is everything okay? And he's like, no, dude, this girl just walked into our motorhome and started peeing in our motorhome on the carpet. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I run over to their campground. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to like go open the motorhome door. The motorhome door is open. She is right when you walk into the motorhome. She is squatting there with her bathing suit down. And just so you guys know, her full like nipple is like hanging out of her bathing suit top. Like she has no idea that her whole boob is just hanging out of her top. Bathing suit bottoms are down. She's squatted, you guys, like no joke. She's squatting like this on the motorhome floor. Didn't even go into the motorhome bathroom. She's just like right when you walk in, she decided to just pop a squat right there and start peeing on the carpet. So I am like freaking out. So when I get over to her to try to like get her out of these people's poor motorhome, I walked up to the motorhome and she was not peeing, you guys. She was taking a fucking shit on this poor guy's motorhome's carpet, like right when you walk in. And I am like, oh my God, I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do this. That's not the bathroom. She's like, you guys are tricking me. I know this is the bathroom. Stop telling me these lies. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, you guys, I'm so sorry. I will clean this up. And all the guys are just like standing around me and everyone's just staring at her while she's shitting in this guy's motorhome. And you guys, she was not shitting in the bathroom. She's shitting on the floor of this guy's motorhome. They're just sitting there like in awe. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, is this really happening? She just doesn't even know where she is. She has no idea like what she's doing. I think she thinks that she's using a toilet in a bathroom somewhere. Like that's like what's going on in her mind. So in her mind, she's not doing anything wrong. And we're sitting here telling her like, you can't do this. And she's like, fuck you. Like, I'm fine. You let me be. I'm doing just fine. And so finally, I'm like, you need to stop pooping. Like, I need to get you out of here. That happened, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. I did end up cleaning this up. I had to use paper towels. So yeah, my porn friend shit on someone's motorhome floor in her drunken stupor, and I had to clean it up. A bunch of other things that happened on that trip with her, like the next day, she told everyone she was going to take a shower, and the showers, like, they have like public showers. She went to the showers. She was gone for like hours. We ended up having to like get a hold of the sheriff's department to like go on a search for her because nobody could find her. It took us like 4.5 hours to find her, and I'm not even lying, you guys. When we did find her, she was just like, oh, I just like got lost. I don't know what drugs she was on, but whatever they were, they caused a lot of problems on my camping trip. I hope that you guys enjoyed that story. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear about like some more porn star horror stories, God knows I have a lot of them, let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you again for watching. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's video.